I'm Julian Brinkley. I'm a PhD candidate in the Computer and Information Science and Engineering Department at the University of Florida. So what I'm working on specifically is investigating how individuals with vision loss, so people who are blind and low vision, interact with self-driving vehicles, specifically their needs as it relates to the human-machine interface of this technology. I feel as if research in that area really has the potential to be transformative for people with disabilities. Many, and this is not to overly generalize, but many people with vision loss, blind and low vision individuals who can't operate conventional motor vehicles are oftentimes significantly disadvantaged by an inability to actually drive a conventional vehicle. So it affects employment opportunities, where you live, where you shop, where you eat. So I think this type of research can do a lot to basically address those types of problems. To tell you a little bit about the testing process that was used for the technology, I used what is called a Wizard of Oz process, where essentially certain aspects of a system are simulated. It's a process called RADS, or Real Road Autonomous Driving Simulation. The goal with this process is to convince a participant that they're actually in a self-driving vehicle. One of the big questions that became pretty quickly apparent was, how would you verify that you had actually arrived at the appropriate location? So if you're a visually impaired person and you're using a self-driving vehicle, let's just say for the sake of argument, a self-driving Uber or Lyft, how would you know that the vehicle took you to the Starbucks that you requested to go to and didn't instead take you to a field somewhere, or some other location that you didn't want to go to? The goal was to address the experiential needs of a visually impaired operator. To begin with, when an operator begins to use the system, they're walked through a brief, roughly 2.5 minute tutorial that explains the basic functionality of the system.
With my help, you can control most vehicle systems using just your voice. Let's review the basics. So where do you want to go?
Kmart.
Continuing east on Northeast.
While they're in transit, they're given information about traffic conditions, the location of any pedestrians, any hazards that may be nearby, information that may be pertinent and that actually may help them to mentally establish what direction that they're going, to provide some sense of verification that they're actually going in the appropriate direction. Moving forward, I believe that one of the major goals is to continue work in this area. This is essentially a series of first steps. The challenges faced by visually impaired persons in interacting with and operating this technology have by no means been solved definitively by this research, but these are essentially setting the groundwork for addressing those problems. And in addition to looking at the issues that may be faced by people who are blind and low vision, I'm also focused on looking at the issues that may be faced by people who have hearing loss or people with different cognitive disabilities.